Welcome to ADHD Power Tools, where we give you the tools to unlock the power within. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of ADHD Power Tools. Today, I want to talk about setting goals. Brooke, I want to ask you, what are some tools we can give our audience from setting goals to completing them? What are some tools that would help us setting goals? With us with ADHD, it's pretty difficult sometimes to set some goals and complete them.
Yeah. So when we set goals and I like to think about like quarterly goals, 90-day goals, and work backwards from that. Set anywhere between like 3 to 5 goals within those 90 days, nothing more. And then work backwards from that. So once you have the goal, let's say I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, what are the action plans that you're going to take? Like, how do you know when you lose it? How are you going to keep yourself accountable? All of those types of things. So goal setting should be specific. You should understand your why and your purpose behind the goal, because down the road, 1 month into it, you might not be motivated about it anymore. And it should be somewhere that you are reminded of it on a daily, weekly basis.
100%. Reminders are very important, especially for me when I set my own goals. I need to see it everywhere, whether it's sticky notes, a reminder on my phone, my iPhone wallpaper. Those are some of the ways I remind myself. But setting goals is so important. And Julia, give us something. Maybe give us maybe some tools you use to set some goals, or some examples.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I think it's important to make them realistic, but says the person that's a little bit more of a visionary and imaginative, as per usual.
Yeah.
But you've got to make it attainable, and really it's like a balance of, okay, what do I want to achieve and how can I do it, but how do I keep myself motivated, and what do I do if I can't do that? So say, for example, something I've always struggled with is time management. And in one of my classes in high school, we learned how to make these things called time maps, which lists out how you're going to spend each day of the week. But I've realized what that is, and I've tried to set that per school semester, but it doesn't take into account spontaneous schedule changes. And then if my schedule gets thrown off, I get completely thrown off, and then I lose my motivation. So this year, what I've done is I have a calendar coming in, and I bought myself a daily planner, so to go day by day, and making sure to limit negative self-talk and have uplifting self-talk. And say another goal of mine would be to cook and eat healthy, because due to some of the problems I've had, especially with like underdeveloped swallowing muscles, it's really limited my palate, and I've eaten like a little kid my entire life. Add on the stresses of college, I ended up gaining quite a bit of weight, and I want to lose it. So one of the things I did was, for Christmas, I bought myself a cookbook, which will do 2 things for me. For one, it will teach me how to cook, giving me more independence, and slowly but surely expand my palate and my overall health. So really, if you're having a trouble coming up with realistic things, ask someone that's trusted, like a family member or a therapist. Have them help you. Have someone that knows how to help you set realistic goals. Keep 100%. Yourself motivated, find what it is, and, crack the code on how to really stick to your resolutions, and then feel amazing once you accomplish them.
Yeah. And I think you said so many amazing things there. Realistic. And that's knowing why you are doing it, and is it attainable, right? So that would be like the A for the SMART, SMART. And I love what you said about how you learned how to, time block your schedule week by week in a month. But things can get thrown off here and there. And when that happens, especially for ADHDers, it's so easy to get off of the motivation behind the action towards your goal. So for you, you've shifted and you've reflected and said, okay, I'm going to do day by day. And that's great. And that works for you. And it works for a lot of people. And I think that's awesome. What I do want to share also is knowing your why helps you if you do get thrown off on a day or two. So if for whatever reason you are behind on your actions towards the goal, going back to the purpose behind it is helpful for you to stay focused on it. And also having, like you said, a coach or a counselor or a friend or someone to keep you accountable.
Mm-hmm. I like a lot the realistic parts, like, something that's realistic, not, nothing out of your reach, basically setting the bar low enough for yourself, having that humility to set the bar low enough. So earlier this year, I want to start reading more. So I got a book at Barnes and Nobles, and I was like, okay, let me start reading 10 pages a day. Now, I didn't do it for the first few weeks. I wasn't reading 10. I was reading maybe 3, 4, 7. Sometimes I'd go over 10, but I wouldn't usually not hit the 10 mark because I'd get so busy with school, work, etc. And so I was like, okay, let's make this a little bit more realistic. I lowered it down to 5. And whether 5 didn't work or 6, 7, 8, I kept lowering it to a point where it did work and made me feel relieved the stress of me not reaching that goal. And I moved forward. It's like working out. You got to start 5 push-ups and work your way up. You can't set the bar too high sometimes. So that's what I think is a real good point. The realistic part, 100%.
It's like, I'm going to steal a phrase from my grandpa. It's like eating an elephant one bite at a time, little by little by little, and slowly and surely increase.
100%.
Yeah, chipping away at the rock. But I like going back to what you were saying, Ollie, that it's realistic, but you're stretching yourself just slightly. You're not going and taking these huge steps where you can fall. You're taking these small steps that are stretching you to your ultimate goal.
And just to switch gears a bit, I want to ask you guys a question since we are entering a new year, and this episode will be out in 2021. I want to ask you guys, give us maybe one New Year's resolution you got in store for the year 2021, as 2020 has been pretty hectic so far. Hopefully 2021 can be a little better.
Okay, well,
I'll give you mine after.
In my excellent, I kind of already gave away some of them, which is to crack the code on how to really manage my time, but also not go through major burnout, because that's a big problem of mine, especially with the semester I had last semester, where like 85% of my time was focused on math, which like absolutely drained me. Then I couldn't do the things I want to do, like exercise or such and such. So really finding the yin and the yang, how to balance that out. Also eating healthier, staying COVID-free and keeping my family COVID-free. And also to be able to publish a few more things for different brains. But majority of it is really, okay, how can I keep everything balanced? And how can I not like overreact or get down on myself if I can't keep things balanced or when things get out of my control?
Balance is 100% key. 100%.
You seem like you've given this a lot of thought, Julie. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I do a lot of thinking, which is, I think, also another thing that would be important for people with, or not even just ADHD, but everyone. Take the time to think things through, whether it's resolutions or goals or just anything in life.
Yeah, it's that metacognition.
You think to a certain extent, though. Don't fall into analysis paralysis, or it's too late.
Yeah.
But
touche.
But Brooke, go ahead. Your turn. What's your New Year's resolution?
I see it more as a vision rather than a specific goal for me. Mine is just to keep my mind and body healthy. So free from distraction, worry, make sure that I'm dieting, meaning eating healthy and working out the way that I am putting into my specific goals.
You know, these are all honestly the same thing with me, you know, diet, body balance, all so important. And then at the end of the day, it's like there's not 1, 2, 3 goals. There's so many, and you gotta stay on track. And but one really important one for me, and I've been thinking about this for the past few weeks, is I want to read more. I want to read more, and I want to write more. It's not only reading, it's writing as well. And when I say read, I mean, you know, whether it's an article or a book or story, nonfiction or fiction, it helps me train my brain to focus for longer times, which I think it's been really helping out my focus time span, and writing. Whether it's just writing my to-dos to writing my thoughts and goals. Reading and writing, those are the two I'd say right there are main goals. And like you guys said, balance, diet, food, surrounding myself by my loved ones and those, you know, who are important to me, and just moving forward, trying to stay as productive as possible and turn this year into a better year than the one before, you know?